When I threw up the poll for which game you guys wanted to be featured next, I never expected this first Ratchet game to beat out Sly 3, Jak and Daxter, and Skylanders Giants hand over fist. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised with how much love this series has, starting with this first game. But I don't know how to quite put this without pissing anybody off or getting this video disliked to hell, but I'm not fond of this game. Let me explain, don't leave. You see, my very first Ratchet game was this game's sequel, Going Commando. That game had weapons that gain XP and level up, strafe movement, improved targeting, and the guns and gadgets are way better in the sequel, in my humble opinion. It was a life-changing game for me, to the point that when I played this game after it, it really made this experience sour as hell, as I felt this first game felt just clunky. And that's not the game's fault in any way, it didn't do anything wrong. Going Commando is just a really good sequel and doing what a sequel is supposed to do by improving things. However, one thing I absolutely do not like about this game is Ratchet and Clank's constant bickering. Jesus, these two are downright obnoxious in this game, and I'm really happy they fixed their characterizations for all the subsequent games. The story is another thing, that's a whole rabbit hole I don't want to go down, but thank God they fixed this. So that's my dirty little secret about this game. I'm just not crazy about it, as many other people are in the fan base. You can go ahead and get mad now, but what do? Lie to you guys? I'm not gonna do that. But despite how I feel about this game, I still think the trophy run is a very good one. There are lots of good trophies that make you take on different challenges in different ways for some really cool in-game rewards. There is one hiccup in the trophy list that can definitely make the run super grindy, but thankfully some ingenious players found out how to get around this. So without further ado, here is the game that started this now 20-plus-year-old franchise and its trophy run to get the Gadget Master Platinum Trophy. This is Platinum Hunters, the show where we take a look at everything it takes to get the Platinum Trophy and whether it's worth the effort to achieve it. We got Ratchet games on the channel already with the reboot game of this very game we're talking about right now. That's very also divisive as hell. And we got Rift Apart on the channel, so you can check out those two trophy guides in the description below or in the cards that are appearing above your head. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more trophy guide videos just like this one, because you might just find your next Platinum Trophy. This trophy run is going to take 1.5 playthroughs or more to finish it and get the platinum. That sounds weird, and I worded that weird on purpose, but let me explain. This game lets you go back to planets to clean up trophies even after you defeat the last boss. So that lets you grab all the collectibles like gold bolts and skill points, which require certain weapons and gadgets to get anyways. Nothing is missable in this game, and you can easily go back and collect things later on in your first playthrough. However, there is a trophy that you have to collect in New Game Plus mode. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that trophy is for the gold weapons. As well, the trophy for collecting 1,000,000 bolts can theoretically be collected in your first playthrough, but more realistically, you'll get it in subsequent playthroughs. This 1,000,000 bolts trophy is a particular sticking point for this trophy run, as it could add one or more playthroughs on top of your playtime just grinding it out. We have some strategies for this one though, and all the other trophies, so I think we should just get right into it. But note that I have more helpful guides in the description below to assist you if you need it. There are only 3 unmissable story trophies to collect, which is not very many, so we have quite a bit of ground and space to cover. Again, I already told you guys my gripes with the game, but I don't want you guys to get the impression that I think it's a bad game. Absolutely not. All the planets in this game slap, and I really made it obvious to point out when some of them were missing in the 2016 reboot episode. I also think the reboot bungled the story by not having Drek as the final bad guy. He is a good villain and perfect for this story. See, I don't hate it. You can love me again, guys. But after you enjoy the story, there is much to do. After you defeat Drek in the final boss showdown, you'll be given the option to start a new save in New Game Plus mode or return to the moment before you fought Drek. I recommend that you do the latter and return before the boss fight so you can start nabbing the collectible stuff like gold bolts and skill points. If you start a New Game Plus run, you will lose all your gadgets, which are very important for some of these collectibles. The first trophy you should go for at this step is the Bolt Commando trophy. You will need to find all 40 gold bolts in the game, which are hidden on all the different planets, 2 or 3 at a time, sometimes more. If you look for these before you start your New Game Plus run, you should have all the weapons and gadgets you need to find them all. These gold bolts are often found in breakable walls, down hidden paths, or in other secretive areas, so I've provided a guide below with all 40 gold bolt locations. This has become a staple of the series, so if we cover all the other games, we are guaranteed to see them again. For the rest of the weapons you are missing, you'll need to find them all for the Gadgeteer Trophy. There are a total of 14 weapons in the game to buy from the vendors that appear at the start of the levels. If you add up the purchase totals, all 14 of these weapons are going to run you a total of 260,000 bolts. And in Ratchet 1 land, that's a lot of money, fam. Good thing we have a way to swindle some discounts. There is an item that you can get on the planet Poketaru called the Persuader, and that will allow you to get the weapons at a discount. You'll also get a trophy for grabbing this optional item called "These Are Not the Droids You Are Looking For." Really great trophy name. Anyways, if for example the Visibomb normally costs 15,000 bolts, now with the Persuader it costs 10,000 bolts. That's a third of the price slashed off. I highly recommend grabbing this item as soon as you can and before you buy the higher priced weapons. It's found from this guy on the optional Poketaru path, in which you will need to trade the Persuader for Raritanium that you can get from an optional path on the snowy planet Hoven. The barter system still exists in the future. Now the most expensive weapon of them all is the iconic Rhino, which stands for Rip Ya a New One. It gets its own dedicated trophy for purchasing it called Ultimate Animal. How much does it cost, you say? Well, rocket blasting ain't cheap and the gun costs 150,000 bolts. Also, you can't use the Persuader to bring down the price because you have to buy it illegally from this black market arms dealer in Blackwater City. This is where most of your bolt money is going to be spent, and trust me, you won't have enough money on your first playthrough to pay for it. It will have to be done on New Game Plus mode where money is a lot easier to get, but I don't want to jump the gun, no pun intended. When we get to that part of the guide where we cover New Game Plus, I'll show you how you can easily pay for this voracious beast of a weapon. But we still have a bunch of trophies still to grab here in the cleanup step, so let's get to it. There are a bunch of planet-specific trophies to collect that you can do while you're beating the game, and almost all of them coincide with another set of trophies, so we might as well introduce them all right now. Skill points are these small challenges that unlock when you meet certain objectives, and you'll get the Skillful trophy when you obtain all 30 of them. These skill points were like trophies before PlayStation trophies and even Xbox achievements were born. Skill points were born in Spyro 2, and they have carried over into the Ratchet games, giving you access to special goodies when you collect enough of them. In fact, when you obtain 15 skill points, you will Unlock Sketchbook, which is a trophy and a cool bonus feature in the goodies part of the menu with many cool bonuses. So there's lots of incentive to collect all 30 skill points, and I have a video in the description below to help you find out how you can collect every single one of them. However, 22 of those 30 skill points have trophies attached to them. So we are going to cover the vast majority of them in this episode right now. Then you just have to look up the last 8 and collect them for the Skillful trophy. So now that everything is established, let's dive into those 22 skill point trophies. Going planet by planet, our first stop is the very green and beautiful planet Novalis, where we can get the Take Aim trophy for shooting down one of the fighter or bomber ships that are buzzing over our heads. Just as a heads up, no pun intended, many of these skill points in this game require you to shoot whatever is going on above. This is just our first one. The fighters are really fast and hard to shoot down unless you get a lucky shot, but the bomber moves much slower. Wait until there is a bomber in sight, then pull out your Devastator, lock onto it, and fire a rocket. For this, you can also use a Visibomb to take it down, although you need to manually fly the missile yourself. Either hit a bomber or a fighter if you got skills, and you'll get the trophy. It's going to be the same situation with the Transporter trophy on the next planet, Aridia, except now you'll have to destroy 3 flying transports. Again, you can do this from your ship. Use either the Devastator or the Visibomb to blow 3 of these. I find the Devastator just easier as the missiles will lock on, but that's up to you. Now we head to every Ratchet fan's favorite city, Metropolis, on planet Kurwan for 2 skill point based trophies. We will start with the one right beside the ship called Qwarktastic, and it's on the path left of the ship where you take a huge obstacle course. You will see a Quark bot there at the start of the area, and for the trophy, you just have to break it. Now, the trick is that most of your weapons won't dent the damn thing, so you guessed it, pull out the Devastator or the Visibomb and it can definitely blow up that thing. Use those weapons to break this ugly training bot and you'll have the trophy. Then when you get to Big Al's shop, you can get another skill point and the Strike Oppose trophy by standing between the legs of the big robot statue on top of our boy's store. But how do we get up there? Just follow the main path, jumping on these crates, take this first elevator and then the second elevator after that. Then when you get to the very top of that second elevator, glide over to the top of the roof and stand underneath the statue. This one's very easy, and there you go. Over on our next planet, the planet Eudora, we're back to fucking up vehicles with the Devastator or the Visibomb. For the Vehicle Bombardier trophy, blow up 10 logging vehicles flying around. You can do this one from your ship, and hooray for vandalism. Eudora is also the planet where you can get the very sucky trophy for collecting the suck cannon weapon. It's not a missable trophy at all, but it's on an optional path that you don't need to go to for story purposes. However, you need the suck cannon for the Gadgeteer Trophy, as discussed earlier, so I just thought I'd mention this trophy as well, just so it's on your mind and to remind you to explore all the branching paths in every level. This next skill point on the Blarg station is probably my favorite because it's a nice challenge. To obtain the Girl Troubles trophy, you need to defeat the Alien Queen only using your wrench the whole fight. It sounds more difficult than it is, as this beast telegraphs her attacks from a mile away, but as soon as she commits to the attack, make sure you get the wrench smash on her and rinse and repeat. It's more of a test of endurance and form rather than difficulty. Also, watch out for her mooks that show up twice during the fight, and you'll be good to get this trophy. There are 3 skill point trophies to collect here on this not so lovely but always iconic planet here on Rilgar, Blackwater City. More like Backwater City. Oh, shit, I get it now. Anyways, here on Rilgar, you will participate in a hoverboard race, and in this particular race, you can get one of the hardest trophies in the game called Speedy. What you'll need to do is get a record time lower than 1 minute and 35 seconds across the 3 laps. You really need to go fast for this one and should be constantly holding the square button to boost. For the first couple of jumps, you need to pull off some sick tricks to build up a good boost reserve. If you hold one of the back buttons, let's say R1, you won't earn much boost, so incorporate many back buttons as possible. Off the jump, hold L1, do a flip, then R1, do another flip, then R2, flip if you can still land it safely, and so on. Different combos of these back button tricks will yield you way more boost in your reserve. There is one jump closer to the end of the lap where you can fill your boost reserves and get another skill point trophy in the process. The trophy is called Twisted Hoverboard, and you get this by pulling off a trick called the Twisty McMarks. The Twisty McMarks is the most radical risk reward trick that you can nail because it requires all 4 back buttons incorporated into the trick. Jump off this ramp here and cycle through flips using the R1, R2, L1, and L2 buttons in any order you wish to use them. You definitely have enough time to pull off the trick, but you don't want to spend too much time doing each flip. When you land it, the game will tell you that you hit the Twisty McMarks, give you the skill point and trophy, also give you full boost reserves. When it comes to the race for the Speedy trophy, the last thing you need to do to shave time is clear this gap right here. It's after the jump where you can pull off the Twisty McMarks trick on your right side. You'll need to be boosting to clear the jump, and this can help shave a few seconds at a time. Trust me, you will need it, as I found myself short 3 or 2 seconds, or sometimes angrily 1 second short of the time goal even when I ran the track perfectly. This is way more difficult than the other skill points and will take you multiple tries, so good luck and go fast for this trophy. The other skill point on Rilgar is for the Cluck trophy, where you'll need to turn a tank into a chicken using the Morpho Ray. This hilarious trophy has a trick to it. Normally, when you use the Morpho Ray, you have to get close to the enemy to zap it. But this tank is spitting out toxic gas, making it pretty impossible to pultrify it. However, if you equip the O2 mask from the menu, you will be immune to the tank shenanigans, and you can easily walk up to the thing and turn this tank into a chicken and a trophy. Maybe even dinner. I found this next skill point trophy quite annoying, but also kinda cool. Over on the planet Battalia, grab the Eat Lead trophy by destroying all 4 tanks in the level, not with your weaponry, but the weaponry of a sand mouse. What is a sand mouse? Well, have you ever noticed these weird brown antennas sticking out of the ground? Not just on Battalia, but in a bunch of other places as well. Well, if you equip the Sonic Summoner near one of these antennas, a sand mouse comes up from the ground. Cute little thing, but it has some bite. Now, I said this was cool but annoying, and frustration comes from how these sand mice run out of ammo so quickly. If this little guy locks onto enemies that are not the tank, or worse, he starts shooting at the ships flying above our heads, he will run out of ammo, and then you'll have to go and get another one. It's a good idea to have the level completed once through, so you can have all the taxis unlocked, and you could just easily teleport to the places where the tanks are located. Just keep using a new sand mouse until all 4 of the tanks are gone and you get this trophy. The Sonic Summoner item itself is found on Iridia, given to you by Skid McMark's agent. He will need you to beat the hoverboard race on Rilgar so you can have this item. The next skill point is actually part of an objective for one of the side paths, making it pretty easy to get. You can get the Destroy trophy on the planet Gaspar after you blow up 9 Blarg destroyers. These big ships are parked all along the optional path, and you have to smash or blast this doohickey thing here to blow it up. Along the way, there are some that block your path and you need to blow up the destroyer to progress, but some of them are optional, hanging out on the sides, so count in your head how many you've blown up already, and you will get the skill point on the 9th one. If you're missing any, just look around because they are huge and chances are that you'll see them. Now we have 2 skill point trophies on Qwarktastic, the planet that Ratchet can't explore until you get the O2 mask. When you do and glide down to this part of the level here, you have 2 split paths that you can go. The "Hey, over here" trophy can be collected on the right path. Once you finish walking on the Magna Boots path, you will see a force field and enemies sleeping on the other side. This is where you can pull out your taunter weapon and goat these simple-minded creatures into walking into the force field. Zap! There's your skill point and trophy. Make sure you purchase the taunter before you do this. Now go back to that same fork in the road where the vendor is and take the left path. This is where you get the sniper trophy. After you jump across a bunch of metal grate platforms, you will see a hole that you can look through to the other side of the wall. Now pull out your blaster, aim in first person view, and shoot that alien thing called a scream through the hole. That will get you another skill point. And at the end of that same path, you will reach the Nanotech vendor where you can buy health upgrades to give you an extra hit before dying. This is not a skill point trophy, but you need these 2 trophies anyways. The Hit Me More trophy will be yours when you buy the premium Nanotech upgrade, which only costs 4,000 bullets. That's pretty cheap. Not a bad price at all. But there's also the Nano This trophy for buying the Ultra Nanotech upgrade for 30,000 bullets. That's definitely a little bit steeper, and it's hard to keep that much money on you at once. You'll probably pick this one up during New Game Plus mode unless you're really gunning to have more health. The planet Poketaru is a sunny and sandy place, but I don't think it's really a safe vacation spot. Ignore the fleet of ships buzzing above your head and jump in the water so you can grab the Buried Treasure trophy. In the main area, you can actually jump in the water and you'll need to detonate all of the exploding boxes under the water. Swim around the waters near the ship and then look around the waters near the waterfall. You should find all of them and the skill point will pop to tell you you've found them all. Onward to Planet Hoven, where you get that rare Atanium we mentioned earlier. Remember to get the Persuader to save you some bolts. Anyways, the skill point trophy in this place is called Pest Control, and it's for killing all the ankle biters. These little snowy gremlins will pop out of the ground and surprise attack you, and you just have to put them all in their places. This trophy only pertains to the flurry of ankle biters that attack you in this spot here beside the golden bolt at the beginning of the level. Bash them all and the skill point is yours. From the very beginning of the Orbital Ultanis level, you can take care of most of the cargo ships you need to destroy for the Sitting Ducks trophy, just as long as you have the Visibomb. There are 8 cargo ships parked all around the space station, and you can Visibomb 7 of them standing at the same platform that you parked your ship on. The last one is found on the main path at the part where you fight a bunch of enemies in a hangar. These things are big, so they're hard to miss, so guide the Visibomb missiles to these ships and blast them all to smithereens for the trophy. Now you can actually touch down on Olantis planet, and this is the part of the story where Ratchet and Clank's bickering gets downright obnoxious. But ignore that, and look for all 22 streetlights in the level and blast them all for the Vandal trophy. A good majority of them are in plain sight right when you exit your ship. Then you need to be careful and traverse the other paths in this very robust level looking for the other blue streetlights. It's very easy to miss 1 or 2 of these, so consult the guide below to help you find them all. Remember, I also have the skill point guide below to also help you with all of these. Okay, now this next trophy is a royal pain unless you do this cheese strategy to do it. During the second hoverboard race on Kalibo 3, you have to get the Magician trophy by finishing the race with a score of more than 4,500 points. Doing this legit is pretty tough because you really have to maximize every jump to get the most points you can. Plus you can't repeat the same trick because it will give you fewer points every subsequent time you use it. I really struggled to beat this legit to no avail, so I decided to get some help with it. Turns out that right at the first big jump, if you veer into the water here, the game will respawn you before the jump. This means you can jump off the ramp, do a trick combo, land it, and purposely veer into the water and do it all over again and again and again. This is an easy way to build up your points total past 4,500, and since there is no win stipulation in place, you can grab the points and then finish on your own terms. This is the best way to beat this trophy because it's going to be difficult to do it legitimately. It's not impossible, but here's an alternative way if you do get stuck. This next one took me a couple of tries and it gets pretty stressful near the end. Before you touch down on the final planet of the game, you are heading to a space station in its orbit, so you can grab the Careful Cruise trophy. There is a water tunnel that you need to get to the other side of it before time runs out, and you straight up get electrocuted. Well, ain't that peachy? And of course, you have to traverse the water tunnel without losing any health for this skill point trophy. Haul ass through this tunnel looking out for the lasers that come in the form of beams and wheels. You have time to stop and pass them safely, but don't do it too many times, or you'll be short on time when you make it to the end. As soon as you get to the end, hit the button and exhale, knowing you absolutely didn't get fried and got this skill point. And finally, the cheekily named Going Commando trophy is the last skill point trophy we have to cover, found on the last level of the game, which is also the first level of the game, Veldin. All you have to do is take out 10 elite guards, which are these jetpack dudes with blasters, but only with your wrench. This one is not hard to do at all if you use your jumping wrench smash. It will quickly take them out, and this final trophy is a painless one. We have one more section of the guide left to cover, and this trophy run is going to make a ton of sense when we do. But do me a favor, hit that like button to let me know you're still here, and now we're going to go do some shopping and spend some mad bolt cheddar. 2 more trophies left, and this will be done in New Game Plus mode. So go ahead and slap Chairman Drek's corporate cheeks again, and then when prompted, make a New Game Plus save file. Then play till you reach the beginning of Planet Novalis, and you will see a new warp pad at the beginning of the level. This place is for collecting the Ratchet King Midas trophy, where you'll need to purchase all 10 of the golden weapons found in this room. So I was a little bit wrong in the intro when I said guns don't upgrade, because this is actually how they upgrade and get stronger, but only 10 of them. In total, these 10 golden weapons are going to rack up a bill of 250,000 bolts, which again is a lot of bolts. More than the Rhino even. Plus, each gold weapon has an additional cost of 4 gold bolts, so it's a good thing we already went out and collected all 40 of them, eh? Go collect them if you haven't. But the money part of the equation is where you're going to have to hustle and grind. Or maybe not. But before we start buying the gold weapons, I recommend finishing our final trophy of the guide first, the Bolt Collector trophy. And it's awarded to you for collecting 1 million bolts. Whoo boy, that's a lot of bolts in Ratchet Land. And the thing that really sucks is that this trophy is not cumulative. So you actually have to carry 1 million bolts in your pockets at one time. This trophy really sucks, even with the 2x bolt multiplier you get in New Game Plus mode. If you're trying to grab this trophy legit, you could potentially run through the game a few more times in order to collect the cash. This can be super grindy, definitely, but thankfully players have a solution for this trophy even before the HD remaster of the game came out. In Blackwater City, there is a way to collect an insane amount of bolts using an out-of-bounds glitch. I have the video of how to do it down below that shows you exactly what you need to do. You will also need the decoy glove and the taunter weapon to be able to do this glitch, so that's why I'm putting this in the New Game Plus section. I tried to replicate the glitch for myself for the purposes of this video, but after 45 minutes of attempts, I couldn't get it to work for some reason, which is strange because I used this exact method when I originally did this platinum run back in 2020. So I know firsthand that it works. It involves clipping into the wall with the decoy glove, gliding over to some spots that will take you on to the hoverboard racetrack, and then standing in a very special spot using the taunter to break the boxes above. You will need to do this for several hours until you accumulate enough bolts, so grab an elastic band and tie the circle button down. When you come back, you should be close to 1 million or better have the Bolt Collector Trophy unlocked. I wouldn't use this glitch as part of the guide if it didn't save you a tremendous amount of time grinding, and I'm all about that. Now that you have fat pockets, go and spend them on the gold weapons and anything else you are missing. If you follow my trophy guide to the T, then you will have this trophy run done in about 1.5 playthroughs. Just enough to get you to Blackwater City for the Bolt exploit. I think it's better to do the Bolt exploit on New Game Plus mode so that you take advantage of the 2x multiplier and it will take half the time to get the 1,000,000 bolts. So my way is the most optimized run you can have, but ultimately you choose how you want to get this platinum trophy. But you know me, I'm always looking out for you. You are the Clank to my Ratchet. That sounded dirty, and Insomniac totally intended that. But anyways, if you've stopped Chairman Drek, illegally purchased a bazooka of devastation, collected a bunch of gold bolts and skill points, became an in-game millionaire and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the Gadget Master Platinum Trophy for the original PS2 fully remastered Ratchet and Clank. Overall, I said it already before, don't make me repeat it. Okay, I'll repeat it. I think this game has a great platinum run. It could be really grindy with the Bolt Collector Trophy, and this is the only downside to it, but it can be mitigated with that Bolt's exploit. The skill points already acted like trophies for doing something cool and out of the ordinary, so it made perfect sense to turn them into the majority of the actual trophies. It's just a good platinum run that I can recommend for the most part, despite how I feel about it. Look, if you are me and you find the game clunky and the characters feel off, we can all agree that this game has plenty to love about it still. And while I do slot it in the bottom half of the overall Ratchet games, it doesn't sit at the very bottom for sure, as there are other games we will eventually cover here on the channel that can occupy that space. But now, the Platinum Hunters Ratchet series train has pulled out of the station and we are on the train, stop by stop, covering all of them. And the next station en route is a little town called Going Commando. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys still love me even after my opinions of this game. I don't want anybody else to feel that way. If you love this game, you love this game. Wear it proud. I just started with the next game, and that's gonna be the next one we cover. So if you're excited for more Ratchet content, definitely subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope all your trophy hunting expeditions make you a rich 1,000,000 bolt tycoon, and peace out.